afternoon. My name is Marie Phillips. I use she, her pronouns. I am a congregant of Merging Waters Unitarian Universalist Congregation and today's worship associate. Merging Waters is a community that draws on the shared values of mindful interdependence, authentic curiosity, and courageous love. We welcome you who are joining us in person and you who are joining us online. It's so good to be together in all of the ways that we can. If you are with us in person where we share space at the United Church of Christ, New Brighton, we are really glad you are here. We ask that everyone wears a name tag in an effort to practice radical hospitality and to build community. Name tags are available on the welcome table out in the entry area. We encourage everyone to take care of your body's needs during the service and engage in ways that help you feel connected, including crafting, doodling, stretching, etc. The fireside space in the back has a lot of room for moving around during the service. We want children especially to feel free to engage activities in the back or to be with their adults or to move between the two. We have a one-room schoolhouse model for children and youth religious education, and Deb Schneider is the person who will be there. I do not see any children today, so maybe next week. And with that being said, we have a new child care provider, Michaela Young. And Michaela, I am so sorry. Michaela will come up here and Reverend Krista will introduce her.
We're excited to welcome Michaela as our child care provider. She works in child care as her job. She is overqualified. She's very sweet and friendly. Please introduce yourself and say hello, and do not expect her to remember your name. That's going to take a while. But we are thrilled to have you here. Thank you, Michaela.
I knew I was going to pronounce that wrong. If you have a pastoral care need, please feel free to reach out to Reverend Krista. Newcomers are welcome to all of our programming. You do not need to be a formal member to attend. If you are new to Merging Waters, please consider signing up to receive our weekly e-news, which gives details and links for our events. To sign up, you can include your email address on the sign-in sheet at the welcome table out in the entry if you haven't already done so. And check the box that gives us permission to add you to the mailing list. If you are online, there is a connection card available on our web page. For any other announcements that are in the Thursday update, I will not read those off or anything, but you can go to our Thursday update page. And okay, we do have on this Saturday our service auction, and Deb will come up and talk a little bit about what will be happening on Saturday. Everyone is invited.
So the theme of the service auction on Saturday is strong in community, and that is something that all of you have certainly demonstrated during this difficult winter, and it's a chance for us to celebrate it. So it starts at 5:30 this Saturday, and even if you don't feel like coming and bidding on a service auction, though I'll tell you in a second what a service auction is, come and have an amazing dinner, because we have an award-winning chef. She actually used to be a member of this congregation. Any of you who know Santi maybe took an online cooking class from her. She's won competitions in Netflix and PBS, and yes, her food is great. So come have dinner, come celebrate and enjoy being a community. Now, the great thing that you also get to do is you get to bid on services that other members are providing, things that are really useful, like a couple hours of help, a ride to the airport, also dinners, more chances for us to get together and spend time together. My family always has a pool party. It's always fun to see young people enjoy the slide because I never use it. I just swim back and forth. And we'll have a great time. We've got a really good auctioneer, Bruce and Kevin. That's a lot of fun. And there's also quite a few silent auction donations this time from another former congregant, Michelle Wallace, who is moving. So please come join us on Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun, great food, chance to be able to maybe get a little something special for yourself.
And if you haven't before, sign up for her pool party. I go to it every year, and it's great. So if you like swimming, it's great. Okay. Joining me in the worship service in person today are Reverend Krista, our minister, Bruce, our director of ministry, is here at the piano. Members of the band are adding to our music, and members of the choir will lead hymns. Our volunteer tech team includes Katie Johnson, Byron Johnson, and Brian Hill. Katie Johnson and Janice Sandcott create the service slides that you have seen up on the screen. Welcome once again to our service today. We hope these Sunday services provide a time of sanctuary, reflection, connection, and joy. We will light our chalice in person and encourage those of you online to light one at home.
I have a few words for our chalice lighting this morning. This afternoon, I caught it. These are words from the Reverend Michelle Collins called For What Might Be. This flame burns for what might be, for hands that help us up and point to the rising sun, for hearts that whisper, what if? For dreams that blanket our imaginations with what might be. May our chalice shine light for our work of becoming.
Today's reading, Song of the Universe by Manish Mishra Marzetti. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Listen carefully. Can you hear still the song? The one sung for you when you were born. The song sung by a cosmos in motion, rejoicing at your life. You, the result. You, the outcome. You, the celebration. Listen carefully. Can you hear it still? A song of possibility, a reminder that we still have time to be who and what we need to be. Listen carefully. The vast expanse echoes a recognition that it's not always easy. Possibilities can be hard to pursue. Roads not taken, wrong turns, destinations that disappoint. Through this, the song persists. The universe sings no less because time and space wear us thin. The music calls us to recognize our limitations, to recognize that the song is best sung with others. here in community, bringing alive that most primordial and original impulse, the desire to sing to the universe who we are, to celebrate and share our lives with others. Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, 1051, We Are. We have hymnals, and the screen and lyrics will be shared on Zoom for those joining online.
For those who celebrate, happy Easter. For those who don't, you might not remember that it is Easter morning today. We are a congregation and community of diverse beliefs here. Some of us lean into the teachings of Christianity, and others do not. And so we practice pluralism as one of our core values. So during today's sermon, I'll touch just a little bit on the Easter story and some history around it, but it's not actually the theme of our service today. Today, we are starting the month of April, and our theme for this month from our Soul Matters packet is embracing possibility. So I want us to embrace and explore embracing the possibility of what this world would look like and how we would experience it differently if we were each able to live fully into who we are. So as is one of my favorite things to do, and I was telling Marie this morning, I keep saying favorite a lot because I love worship, but I love the things we do here together. But I want to share a story with you all, a story that I shared once before, just a few months after I arrived at Merging Waters with you. It's called You Should, You Should. It's written and illustrated by Ginny Tilby. You shouldn't do that. Instead, you should climb this tree. I should? Okay. And dangle upside down with me. It's very fun, don't you agree? This is the way that you should be. You should, you should. I should? Okay. If that is what you say, I guess I'll swim another day. Whoomp. When you walk, try this, you see. Throw your toes up high and free. Lift your chin and stretch your wing. A walk like mine is just the thing. I should? Yes, try. Like this. Reach high. This walk is hard. I don't know why. I should be able. Shouldn't I? You probably want a dance that's new. Here's the perfect prance for you. Spin and spin round and round until your feet float off the ground. Spin round like me. You should, you see. I should, but Okay, fine. I guess your dance is best. Not mine. Ah, I'm stuck. Just my luck. You look hungry. Come and eat. You should peck this treat. A hippo's chomp is dull and dreary. Peck is bright and cheery. Don't chomp? Okay, I should obey. I want you to like me. I'll peck away. Kersplat. I was afraid of that. Hello there, friend, you like to sing. We'll help you sing the sweetest thing. Open your mouth and shout with glee. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ee. You should, you should. I should? Okay, I guess I'll sing like you, your way. Ooh, ah, ee. Too much glee? Wear this hat. You must, you must. I'm an expert you can trust. We'll toss your frumpy lump away. You really must, I say. I must? Okay, I won't delay. Goodbye, old hat that Mother made. I guess I found a better trade. Oh my, your spot! That spot won't do. I've got a spot that's best for you. My friend, you should not wear that spot. Take it off. You really ought. I ought? You ought. My spot. Your spot. But I cannot. Oh dear. Scrubbing, erasing, chiseling, pulling. That spot's not coming off. Oh, unsupported file type. Stop! I like my spot. I like my hat. I don't want to sing like that. I prefer my la la la. Not ooh ooh ee ee ah ah ah. Upside down. Oop, missed a few. If I peck, I'll make a mess. But if I chomp with sweet success. Spinning does not make my feet go. I move a different beat. I like your walk, but that's for you. I have a walk that's my own, too. Upside down is not for me, and I don't like to climb, you see. Today, I think I would rather swim and watch the fishes gather. You're welcome to enjoy a ride and float a while on my backside. But I won't say you should, you should. I'll let you choose it, if you would. 'Cause very most importantly, I'm choosing to be me. I'd invite us into a short reflective hymn, voice still and small. 391, do I have the number right, Bruce? Yes. 391 in your gray hymnal if you have them in person. If you are online or prefer, we'll also have the lyrics up on the screen. And feel free to remain seated for this one unless you are helping lead, in which case, please come up front. As I mentioned a little earlier, Unitarian Universalism is a faith that values pluralism, meaning a lot of different religious beliefs, a lot of different theological beliefs we feel are valuable and have wisdom within them. And yet, the practical reality is many Unitarian Universalists, we'll get there, come into this faith from a Christian background. I'm not talking to you, Anna. Yeah. And many of us struggle with Christianity and with the messages that we may have heard growing up. Or if we didn't come from Christianity, the messages that we hear in the news today from Christian nationalism, who try to control the narrative about what Christianity is or should be. But I want to remind us that both Unitarianism and Universalism come out of Christian roots. That we have come to be the faith today that we are through those Christian roots. And we've pulled in many other beliefs. But I think it's too easy to throw the Christian message out and say we've outgrown it. I don't think that's quite accurate. So my own journey came from growing up in the Episcopal Church, in a wonderfully liberal, inclusive Episcopal church that did work in the community, partnering with our Muslim neighbors and going out to do prayer services for immigrants who were working the cornfields. It showed me what it meant to have an engaged faith. And yet, I struggled even as a teenager with thinking that the Bible was the only right path. I was in my teens when I stopped calling myself a Christian. And I struggled for many years because that Episcopal church was where I learned what community looked like. What it looked like to live love. And there was a message of love that I received there, and the story of Easter held a special place for me in the idea that the resurrection was a place of hope, so that I could face pain and come out the other side. But I struggled with the violence of it and the way that it could sometimes be interpreted as self-sacrificing. So in seminary, we were asked to read this book, which really changed my perspective. It's called Proverbs of Ashes: Violence, Redemptive Suffering, and the Search for What Saves Us. It's by Rita Nakashima Brock and Rebecca Ann Parker, both of whom are ministers, and specifically Rebecca Ann Parker is a Unitarian Universalist and very prominent within our denomination. They have another book as well called Saving Paradise: How Christianity Traded Love of This World for Crucifixion of Empire. If you struggle with the Easter story, I encourage you to dig in a little deeper, particularly with these amazing women who deconstruct the narrative of violence and empire that's currently part of the Easter story as it is told in modern times. They actually went to Rome, to the areas where Jesus lived and where the apostles preached, looking at what the early church was. And they discovered that for the first 1,000 years of Christianity, the image of the crucifixion of Jesus on the cross wasn't found anywhere. The images of the early church focused on paradise, not heaven, paradise. They understood the resurrection, not the crucifixion, not the death. That was a more common thing to them at that time. But the act of resurrection, of rising up, and Jesus is rising up as Christ, as redemptive for all of humanity, as washing away original sin and restoring inherent good in all humanity. Does this idea sound at all familiar? Maybe. Inherent good and believing that all people are saved was one of the core tenets of universalism. That is what universalism means, is universal salvation. That we are born good. That is what was preached in the early church. That is why today I want us to look at what it means for us to lean into embracing the possibility of living wholly as ourselves. This idea that the Easter story calls us to create paradise is paradise here on earth. Paradise in life, not after. That is very, very similar to what we as Unitarian Universalists talk about even today. How do we create a world that is centered on equity and justice and transformation and pluralism and equality and generosity, all centered around love? Those are the core values of Unitarian Universalism today. While many of us approach them from different theological angles than necessarily through Christianity, we come to this place where what we're trying to create together has a lot of similarities. And we can think about it on the big level, right? As we do in Joys and Sorrows, we take a moment to hold the big level of society. But here too, transformation and change and living into paradise happens on the personal level. It starts with how we live our own lives. I had to ask myself a hard question while I was coming up with this sermon and finding all the resources of, is it selfish? Is it too individualistic during this time of upheaval and change to think about living our own lives more authentically? To focus on our own personal change and transformation? And the answer I came to was no. Because to change the world, we also have to change ourselves. But not to become something foreign, not to lean into the I shoulds, but to claim all of who we are and how we exist in the world and support that in every person. because while it may be an individual act, it is also a communal act. If we think about our Unitarian heritage, it says there is one God. It's not a trinity. We are all part of the same experience of life. I know that my healing, my wholeness, my freedom is wrapped up in each of yours because we are inextricably connected. So if we are to heal and to create a new world that embraces the possibility of living our values out, it is an interplay of living those own parts of ourselves that may feel too hard at times, while encouraging others to do the same. Sounds great. Practically, maybe a little harder. I know I struggle with this. So I want to give you a tool, because some of us really like practical, how do we do this pieces. And this is a tool I learned from Brené Brown called Giving Ourselves Permission and writing permission slips. Has anybody heard of this one? A couple, my mom has. There are times where I wonder, is it okay for me to do this? I've heard so many messages about how I should be in the world. Is it okay for me to pull out my nice pearls that I've gotten as gifts over the years? Or does that feel too pretentious? Or all the wonderings, what if, that prevent me from leaning into joy, from leaning into the connection that this necklace brings from a person who I called a second mother when I was young, who was the deacon of the Episcopal church I grew up in. Is it too much to wear? I have to give myself permission to live into the joy of it. The other day, I had a few hours at home while Eric took the kids out, and I have a list of about 15 things I wanted to try and get done. And I tried to give myself permission to not do those things, but I had to have an accountability partner. I actually had to have my spouse help me give myself permission by saying it's okay for you to lay on the couch and just watch TV for a couple hours by yourself without any children crawling all over you. So this work of inviting ourselves and each other to honor all of who we are and what we need to become more holy ourselves is both something we do inside and something we do in relationship with one another. To invite ourselves and each other to become everything possible. The dreams of who we wanted to be when we were children, or the ways of being in the world that we're too afraid to even imagine. We need those imaginations of a new world. We need to embrace those possibilities of who we can become, both individually and together, to get through the mess of the world that is now. So I invite you this week to write yourself a couple of permission slips. What's holding you back from being who you want to be? What do you need permission to do or to be, to live more fully and joyfully in the beautiful diversity of who you are? And if you need help with that permission slip, reach out to each other or reach out to me or a friend or a family member and say, I need help giving myself permission to become. So let us sing together a lullaby, a song that perhaps will invite you into becoming all of who you might be. This is one of this congregation's favorites. We usually cry through it at some point. It's called Everything Possible. It's hymn number 1019. Some of the hymnals have corrected lyrics, some of them do not. So I will invite you to use the slides on the screen for the words. And it's by Reverend Fred Small, and he actually wrote more verses that next time we sing, I'm going to get them added in. So please rise in body and spirit as you are willing and able and join in singing Everything Possible.